how to write a better speech. Let's talk about that. Welcome back to another Writer's Corner today. Welcome back to another video on our journey to live better, more meaningful lives through good habits and systems. My name is Peter, and today I would like to talk with you about how we can decrease the suffering for ourselves when we have to give a speech for our audience, perhaps. My first bonus tip on top of the 4 I will share is you have to exercise writing a speech and holding or giving a speech as often as possible. Number 1, the first and most important thing, you have to learn that skill, and it's very much a skill, something that can be learned and in the beginning seems very hard. And there are many different settings and ways you can do so. If you are someone who struggles with giving a speech, and many people do, because giving a speech is different than just faking a speech. It's different than just talking. Giving a speech is very much a writing process which is intentional for engaging with an audience and communicating an important information. Many people talk nowadays, many people just give a talk, but in my opinion, giving a speech is very much an intentional design process to take your audience on a journey. I'm sharing this through my experience giving a speech every week for 13 years, and I still struggle with it. I still need to remind myself all the time of ways, techniques to improve. The most importantly, I have to continue to write and to continue to give speeches. Very much in different settings. I can do that at home with my family. Why not give a speech in the morning before your kids go to school? Some motivational stuff. So here are 4 ways you can do that, but first I forgot something. I don't have a cup here, and we can't talk about giving a speech or writing a speech without making our setting nice. You have to get yourself into the mood, and what I need today is a coffee. So let's make one. Whatever keeps your creative juices flowing, a cup of coffee, a glass of wine or beer, why not a moody room like this? Number 1, have a clear idea what your speech is about. And it's very difficult to concentrate on only one main idea, but it's very important, because the more ideas we share, the more difficult it is for the audience to remember them. In my opinion, if you can, every speech should have one main idea. Now, if it's a longer speech about a longer topic, then perhaps you have to break down that main idea into different smaller ideas. But you should concentrate, you should be able to put everything under one title, one topic, one main idea you want to communicate. Number 2, have a path. It's like a journey with your audience. You set the idea, you express the main thought, and then you take everyone on a journey. I think in preparation for a speech, this is very helpful to lay out some milestones on this journey from A to B, whatever and however this journey might look like. Perhaps you want to change your audience in some way, or you want to give the information you are about to share, and you want the audience to understand how you got to this conclusion. So take them on a journey. A speech is very much a short travel you take on with your audience, and you want them to be excited about that journey, to understand that they are on a journey and that there is an end point. I think that gives also the way you structure the speech a great overview. Think about it as a journey, perhaps with different culminating points, with different ascents and descents, with different ideas, yes, but think about it as a journey and how your audience is able to understand how you come from one idea to the next idea. That's important because then they can engage knowingly what's happening and understanding what your thought process is and why you share certain things and talk about certain ideas. Number 3, use the opening wisely. Now, the opening is so important but also so challenging. You have to do so many things in just a few seconds. You have to connect with the audience, you have to take them on board, you have to engage them personally so they have a connection with you in some way. You have to evoke interest and you have to start the journey well. It's very challenging to write a good opening, but it's worth. That's why I oftentimes start with one, but after going through the speech, I go back to the beginning and rethink it. And the best way to do it, if you have time, is to do it over a longer period of time. So for example, if you write a speech and you have the time, try to do it over 3 or 4 or more days, and you can come back to the opening and tune it, refine it. A few things you have to get right there to connect with the audience, to present your thought, to start the journey, to set the scene, and to connect personally with them as the speaker who shares the information. Use the opening well. You can do that, for example, through a personal story, to a short joke, through presenting right away one of the most important ideas. Oftentimes I used to do that, to delay it until a later point and revealing that idea later in the speech. But starting out with it, say it right at the beginning, is good because then people know what's coming later and they will understand it better. Perhaps you elaborate on this thought you are sharing right at the beginning, but sharing it right then, right now at the beginning helps the audience to catch the most important information. Why wait? Why wait until later on when they might miss it? And by the way, repetition is important in every speech. If you want to communicate an information, you have to repeat it anyways a few times for everyone to get it. So start with it and then repeat it throughout the journey. And number 4, be personal. Now I know you might have a different opinion there, especially if you give a business speech. If you are in a business setting, in an academic setting for example, where it's not really necessary to share a lot of personal information, but the information you research, for example. But still, what you are in that moment is a communicator trying to communicate with an audience one idea. And in doing so, in trying to engage with our audience in such a way, it is important to also appear approachable and personal in some way. The audience, the listener, connects with you as a person. You cannot abstract of it. They engage with you in the way you speak, in the way you look, in the way you sound. And all these aspects are important and you can be intentional about them. Be personal means that you keep in mind who you are as a speaker and that you embrace that identity. For example, if you are someone who likes to smile, who likes to make a joke, do that. Embrace that. If you are someone who is very serious, very concentrated, be aware of it. Embrace it. The audience needs to connect with you if you want to get your point across. Does it make sense? Short and sweet. Now what you can do next is write these 4 things down or remember them. Number 1, have an idea. Number 2, have a path. Number 3, use the opening. And number 4, be personal, approachable. Use these 4 thoughts, ideas, as often as you can in the next days. Identify opportunities where you can give a little speech and try to implement these 4 aspects in an intentional way. Tell your family a story that takes them on a path, has a clear idea they want to communicate, and uses the opening to engage and shares your personality right away. Try it in a casual setting. That's it. Don't forget to subscribe and see you. Bye.